Hi, I'm Rapunzel from Armenia. Please like and subscribe. When I was little, my mom and I moved a lot. We changed towns every few months. And I couldn't help noticing that I was different from the people around me, even Mom. Everyone had dark eyes and hair, so my blonde curls and green eyes attracted attention.
Wow, she's so precious! And well, she looks nothing like you. Is she really yours?
Mom always smiled and said I looked like my dad, but I knew she didn't like the comments. And soon, we moved again.
Don't look at anyone directly. And never take your hoodie off outside. People get jealous of your beauty. Love.
I was 6 when Mom started working as a cook in a mansion, and she told me strictly to never leave the kitchen. One afternoon, Mom had gone out for groceries when a tall woman walked in, and she stopped short when she saw me.
Aren't you a beautiful little girl? Why don't you come with me, honey?
As I was in her living room eating cakes and chatting nonstop, Mom came bursting in.
There you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. Sorry, mistress.
Oh no! I brought her here. From now on, she'll spend time with me while you work.
Mom wasn't happy at all, but I'd have the best time. The mistress helped me with my reading and gave me lovely gifts. But a few weeks later, she said she wanted to adopt me.
I can give her every luxury in the world. Her life will be 1,000 times better as my daughter.
How can you even ask this, ma'am, to part with my own child? I would never.
You fool! If you truly cared about her, you'd let her have the life she deserves. Also, I looked up your records and there's no birth certificate for any child of yours. Leave her with me and we can keep all our little secrets.
She reached out for my hand, but I grabbed hers and bit it hard. She screamed as Mom and I ran.
Pack your things quickly. Hurry!
And so we left. But this time we kept traveling till we reached some docks late at night.
We're leaving for the U.S., darling. We'll never know any peace here.
Someone Mom knew helped us sneak onto a cargo ship, and we left to start a new life in New York. We spent the first few months in a homeless shelter, but Mom found a job at a restaurant soon, and we could afford a small place. Mom even let me join the public school after changing my name. When I asked why, she said it was for my own good, and I didn't ask anymore. Even though I didn't really stand out here, people still admired my looks. In 5th grade, my friend Melissa, who participated in beauty pageants, told me to try out too. The prize money was good, so I begged Mom to let me join, and I soon became a pageant queen, and modeling offers started pouring in. By the time I was in high school, I'd done my first national ad for a shampoo, and my face was on a billboard. One morning in 10th grade, I walked into the school hallway to see some kids gathered around a boy. He turned his face, and I caught my breath. He was beautiful. He threw his head back and laughed at something, and it was the most captivating sound in the world. Suddenly, our eyes met, and I realized I'd been staring at him like a moron. But I had to find out who he was. I walked into class to find all the girls talking about this handsome new stranger. Just then, we heard a loud groan.
Ugh, jeez. I'll tell you who he is if you give me $20 each. And for 50, I'll introduce you gals to him. He's my brother.
The new boy introduced himself as Derek and said his brother Ryder was our senior. Just then, the teacher walked in, and everyone flew to their seats. I caught Derek looking at me, and he smiled. He was cute, but his brother was a Greek god. One day, I had to reach a modeling audition after school, and as I quickly crossed the road, my heel got stuck in a chewed gum. As I struggled to set it loose, I looked up to see a motorcyclist charging straight at me. But suddenly, someone pushed me out of the way. I opened my eyes to see Ryder looking down at me.
Hey, are you okay?
I think so. Nope, I feel dizzy. Ryder swept me up effortlessly and carried me to his car. He took me to the hospital, and it turned out I had a minor concussion.
Your mom's on the way, I called her.
Thank you. I am so lucky you were right there.
Well, it wasn't a coincidence. I was actually following you to ask you out.
Really?
Why do you sound surprised? I can't be your first admirer. You just might be the most beautiful girl I've ever met, Rapunzel.
He touched my cheek and my heart fluttered. Just then, Mom walked in, and she couldn't stop thanking Ryder. I was discharged soon, and he even dropped us off at home. Ryder and I started dating, and the next few weeks were like a dream. He was intelligent and thoughtful and always knew how to make me laugh. We were the golden couple of the school. A few days later, I got paired with Derek for a science project, and we met up at the library to discuss it. It's funny, we've hardly spoken before, especially since you're in my class and I'm dating your brother.
Well, Ryder has that effect on girls. They fall head over heels for him and see nothing else.
That's not true, and I'd like to get to know you. Let's all have dinner sometime.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. Listen, Rapunzel, there's something...
What's going on here?
Hey, we're working on our project, and I was just...
He's your project partner? No, that won't work. I'll talk to your teacher and have your partner changed.
What? This is none of your business, dude.
It's very much my business, dude. I don't want my girlfriend to fail, which she will with you.
Derek looked furious and stormed off. Ryder, you can't tell me who to be part... Hello, Ryder was right.
He said this about me? Rapunzel, you've known me since we were kids. Why are you letting this guy?
He's my boyfriend, and he's clearly less naive than I am. Melissa and my other friend stopped talking to me after that, and it just made me angrier that they all took her side. Thank God I had Ryder. Soon it was our 2-month anniversary, and Ryder wanted to celebrate in style by taking me out on a date to a classy French restaurant.
I want you to sit on this side, facing just me. I don't want anyone else to admire your beauty tonight.
That's a bit weird and so cheesy.
It's just how I feel. And here's your present.
Ryder, you've already done so much. I gasped as I stared at a gorgeous amber necklace.
See? How could I not get that? It's like it's made for you, Amber.
My heart was pounding as he put it around my neck. Why? Why did you just call me Amber?
Did I? Obviously a mistake, Rapunzel. Now shall we order?
I felt so distracted that I could barely read the menu. I needed some air. I excused myself to go to the bathroom, but just as I got up, I bumped into the waiter bringing our drinks.
Oh, I am so sorry, madame.
No, it was my mistake. Here, let me help you.
Oh, please, don't worry about it. I'll get you some drinks.
As he ran off, Ryder turned to me coldly.
Why were you flirting with the waiter?
What? I was just trying to be nice. But suddenly Ryder swiped all the plates off our table.
Don't play me for a fool. You kept touching his arm.
You're insane. I'm leaving. I ran out of the restaurant and looked around for a cab, but Ryder caught up with me.
If you walk away now, I'll make your life miserable, Amber.
Why do you keep calling me that? Just stop it.
Ha ha ha! Because that was your name before you came here, wasn't it? I know all about your past and you can't escape it. Yeah, I'll have you and your mother deported to Armenia and...
Suddenly, Ryder tripped over something and fell down, hitting his head. I frantically called an ambulance and used Ryder's phone to call Derek to the hospital.
What happened?
He tripped over something. The doctors say he'll be fine, but I can't stay here another minute.
Rapunzel, what really happened?
I broke down and told him how crazy Ryder had acted in the restaurant.
I wanted to warn you! You're not the first girl he's done this with. He's the perfect boyfriend at first, but then he gets so jealous and scares every girl away.
It's not just that. Derek, he knows things about me and he's threatening to ruin Mom's life and mine.
If you tell me what it is, maybe I can help you.
Derek, I need to talk to Mom first.
Of course, and you need to be sure you can trust me.
I looked into his warm brown eyes, and I felt I could. So the next day, I asked Derek to come to my place, and Mom told him everything.
I'm not Rapunzel's mother, I'm her aunt. Rapunzel's parents passed away when she was a baby, and I was her guardian in their will. But her other aunt and uncle kept insisting that I give Rapunzel to them. They only wanted her because of all the money in her name. They were powerful people, and I knew they'd keep trying to take Rapunzel away from me. So I ran away with her. We traveled far, but I'd always felt they'd find us. Then we came here and changed our names, and it seemed like we'd finally left everything behind. Until now.
We can't go back there, Derek.
I'll do everything I can, I promise.
I couldn't bear to go to school for the next few days. I felt sick with anxiety. Then finally, one evening, Derek showed up, and he was smiling.
My lawyer worked on your case. And given how long you guys have lived and worked in the US, your status will be made legal immediately. You can't be deported. No one's going anywhere.
Mom and I cried and laughed as we hugged, and I threw my arms around Derek too. Thankfully, Ryder still hadn't returned to school, and I started hanging out with Derek. I also apologized to Melissa.
Rapunzel, I was so affected by what you said that I confronted my mom. She didn't pay for me to get those roles, but someone did, and I have no idea who.
I do! It was Ryder! He did it because he wanted to turn me against everyone close to me. But I never should have doubted you. A few days later, I just put some stuff in my locker when I turned around to see Ryder.
Hi, Amber. Did you miss me?
You wish, and don't think you can ever bully me or scare me again. I don't care what you know, you can't use it.
Wow. What a transformation from the chicken girl I last saw. But yeah, I just came to tell you that I've lost all interest in you. Seems like you really lowered your standards when you settled for my brother. And I don't date trash.
He walked away, and I realized I'd been holding my breath. But minutes later, I heard loud voices down the hallway, and I ran to see Ryder smashing Derek against the lockers and beating him up. It took 4 teachers to pull Ryder away as he screamed like a maniac.
You want everything I have, don't you? You always have, you little worm. Do you think I'd let you be happy? I'll ruin your life, Derek. You'll regret the day you ever crossed me.
Derek went home early, and I was completely shaken by the day's events. Later that night, I was having trouble sleeping, and I heard a loud tap on my window. I sat up in horror, only to realize it was Derek. Gosh, you scared me! How are you feeling now?
I can't feel my face, but my heart's happy. I just had to tell you. Ryder went completely bonkers at home too, and my parents have admitted him to an institution for therapy.
That's such a relief. I'm sorry you got hurt because of me, Derek.
Don't be! I'd take 100 punches for you. Well, not 100, but you know what I mean. And Ryder's right about one thing. I've wanted to be with you since I first saw you.
He leaned in and kissed me, and it was lovely. We graduated from high school and both went to the same college in another city. Right after graduation, Derek and I got married in a small ceremony with our parents. Ryder was apparently out of the institution now and managing his dad's company in Europe. But of course, he wasn't invited. And a year later, we were blessed with a beautiful baby girl, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Freya from Ohio. Please like and subscribe. I belong to a home that was filled with happiness and love. And my dad worked very hard to give us the best life. Once when I was 4, Dad spent an entire weekend building me a treehouse in our backyard.
This is your special place. You can always come up here and look at the beautiful sky.
Thank you, Daddy!
And when your sister grows a little taller, promise me that you'll share this treehouse with her and always be happy together.
I promise. My sister Iris was 2 years younger and I loved her to bits. I would dance for her and she would laugh like crazy and clap her little hands. When I turned 6, Mom bought us walkie-talkies, and we had so much fun hiding from our parents. The coast is all clear here. Over. I see Mom's red hair. Over. Okay, I'm climbing down. Over. As I climbed down from the treehouse, I saw my aunt and my cousin enter our yard. I ran to greet them, and so did Iris.
Freya and Iris, you've grown so big.
Our cousin Shirley was the same age as me, and stood very quietly, without even a smile on her face. Just then, I noticed that they had 2 big suitcases with them. Are you going on holiday, Aunt?
Yes, we're here for the holiday.
Just then, Dad came out and helped Aunt with our bags. Aunt and Dad were twins, and he cared about her deeply. I was happy to have them around until Mom took me aside and spoke to me.
Freya, you will move into Iris's room and share her bed.
But Iris's bed is so small, Mom.
I know, honey. It's just until your aunt finds a job and moves out.
How long will that be?
Just a few months.
But months turned into years, and I was 10 and still squeezing into Iris's bed. My aunt didn't find a job, and Dad had to let her stay since they only had each other. And slowly, Aunt and Shirley started to become a nuisance.
Yeah.
Once in 7th grade, Mom had planned a party for me and Iris for being top achievers at school. When Aunt suddenly said she felt really sick.
Maybe you should have the party on another day. I'm so unwell. Shirley must have caught it too. Look, she feels so warm. It's possible what we have is contagious.
But I've already bought all the food and invited the guests. I can't cancel everything just a day before the party.
Maybe you two could just stay in your room, Aunt.
Oh, so you want me and my daughter to stay in the rooms like we are outcasts? Did you hear what she said, brother? We aren't good enough for their party. They always make us feel like we're living on their charity.
What? She didn't mean it like that.
Aunt started coughing loudly and Dad took her to her room. When he returned, he asked us if we could cancel the party. But Dad, Iris, and I already invited all our friends.
My mom is sick and I think you should listen to your dad.
It does seem insensitive to have a party when she's unwell. We can have it another time, please.
It was so hard to say no to Dad, so we canceled it. And just then I caught sight of Shirley grinning as she walked away to her room. She and Aunt were such drama queens. And the worst part was that Shirley was in the same class as me. In 8th grade, I got selected to be the class president. And just as I was about to give my first presentation on all the changes I wanted to make, I stared at the projector in horror. Instead of my slideshow, it was a video of me singing and doing a stupid dance in front of my mirror at home.
That's your president trying to be Beyonce. Gosh, how stupid does she look? Shirley, you're a wicked witch, just like your mother.
She got up and pushed me against the chalkboard, and I took the duster and buffed her face white. Seconds later, everyone around us was laughing as we broke out into a full-scale catfight. But the teacher was not impressed by my behavior.
Freya, I'm taking away your position as class president until you learn to lead by example. Hitting someone's face with a duster is not leadership material.
But she pushed me!
And you called her mother a witch?
Later that afternoon, while I was doing my homework, Aunt came and sat next to me with her tea, and she poured it all over my books. Hey, what are you doing?
This will teach you to watch what you say about me. I'm a witch, huh?
I'm telling Dad about this.
Go ahead. I'll just say it was an accident. He will never believe you over me, his beloved sister.
And she was right. Dad didn't believe me.
Freya, I'm sick of you disrespecting your aunt. When your mother gets back from the store, we're having a family meeting.
But Mom had been gone for hours, and she wasn't even answering any calls. We were beginning to feel worried, but just then, a car drove up to the house, and Mom thanked a strange man as he dropped her off and drove away.
What happened?
My car's engine suddenly heated up and my phone was dead. Luckily, my boss was driving by, so he offered me a ride.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get your car towed and fixed.
I just couldn't help noticing the way that man looked at you.
What way? What are you trying to say?
Nothing, just saying.
My aunt was on a mission to stir up trouble between my parents. And later that evening, while Mom was in the bathroom, I found Aunt digging in Mom's bag. What are you doing?
Why don't you go up to your room and read a book, dear?
Not until you tell me what you're up to.
I'm looking for a painkiller for the headache you're giving me. Ah, there it is.
She took it and left, and I told Mom right away, but she checked her bag and said everything was in place. But just a few days later, it was Dad's birthday, and Mom bought him some new shoes.
Oh, I was expecting a Rolex watch.
Ha ha ha, really? Well, honey, that's quite an expensive gift.
But you used our credit card to buy it 2 days ago? I got a message on my phone?
What? No, I didn't.
Mom and Dad got into an argument on his birthday, and then Aunt came along to make things worse.
Oh, I think I know who your wife bought the watch for. It was for that same man who dropped you off last time. You know, her boss.
And how would you know that?
I'm my brother's sister, and I see everything that goes on around here. I won't let anyone betray him.
I've had enough of this nonsense. Who do you believe, me or her?
Dad believed Aunt. And that day, Mom packed her bags and took me and Iris with her. Mom rented out a small apartment, but things were not easy with Mom's small salary, and Dad only paid for our school fees. And soon after, things got even worse when Iris started to feel sick. When Mom took her to the doctor, we got the scariest news ever. Iris had a problem with her heart, and she needed a donor. Oh, Mom, why is this happening? I don't want anything to happen to Iris.
And nothing will. We have to stay positive, honey.
Iris had to stay at the hospital for a while. And one day, Dad came to visit with Aunt and Shirley. But when the adults weren't in the room, Shirley turned to Iris and said,
"Now because of you, your dad might lose our house."
"What are you saying?" "Don't listen to her, Iris."
"He's paying for your treatment, stupid. He can't afford the mortgage payments on the house. Thanks to you, we'll be homeless soon."
"It was never your house to begin with. Get out of Iris's room now." Later that day, I started to do some research on heart donors, and I was surprised to find applications on a funding program called the Heart Foundation. I quickly applied, telling my story, and sent it with fingers crossed. When I told Iris about it the next day, it made her really happy.
Even though our family is no longer the same happy family, I'm so glad that I have you as my sister and best friend.
I hugged her and then turned on the music on her phone and I started dancing for her like old times. And she laughed so much. Back at school, I struggled to keep my grades up because of everything that was going on. And one day, Shirley scored higher than me in math and couldn't stop rubbing it in my face.
Now that I'm the smarty pants of the family, I'm gonna tell my uncle to throw me a party. Don't worry, you're invited, as the waitress.
Suddenly, I felt so furious that I just screamed and charged her. But somehow I managed to stop myself at the last second. So I was shocked when Shirley suddenly fell to the floor like she'd fainted. Shirley?
Oh my God, what if you killed her?
What? I didn't even touch her.
No, I saw you.
Her friend ran off to call the principal. Shirley was rushed to the hospital where she was just fine soon after. But I was suspended for 2 weeks. I was really angry, but my suspension meant I got to spend a little more time with Iris at the hospital.
I miss our treehouse.
Me too!
Let's go there.
You know we can't do that. We'll get in so much trouble.
Please, Freya. I'm so tired of being in the hospital.
My sister made her puppy dog eyes at me, so I put her on the wheelchair and told the nurses that I was taking her out for some fresh air. We sneaked right out of the hospital and got onto a bus that took us to Dad's house. No one seemed to be at home, so we headed straight to our treehouse. Are you sure you can even climb up?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, go really slow and I'm right behind you. Iris climbed up the ladder, but as soon as she was inside the treehouse, she let out a loud scream. I started climbing up frantically, but just then, I saw Shirley looking down at me, and next to her was a boy from school. Shirley, what are you doing here?
Bunking school and making out with my boyfriend. You and your sister are trespassing.
Shut up, this is our treehouse.
Oh yeah? We'll see about that.
She kicked the ladder and I lost my balance. But luckily, I caught a tree branch just in time.
Oh my God, Freya.
I turned to see Dad looking up at me, and next to him was Mom. Dad quickly put the ladder back and helped me climb down. What are you guys doing here?
The hospital told us you were missing. We figured you might be here.
I'm sorry, Mom.
It's not her fault. I made her bring me here because this is my happy place.
Iris cried. And we had a family hug until it was interrupted by Aunt.
What's going on here?
Shirley kicked the ladder down while Freya was on it.
What nonsense. My Shirley would never do that.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Shirley came down from the treehouse with the boy, and Aunt didn't look so happy.
Shirley!
I'm sorry.
Shirley looked down sadly, but I didn't buy her act one bit.
I'm so disappointed in you, Shirley. You really could have hurt Freya.
And if you're really sorry, tell everyone the truth about what happened in school.
You pushed me. That's what happened.
Yes, she did. And brother, why are you holding that woman's hand? Have you forgotten that other man she's with?
Dad immediately let go of Mom's hand, and she looked so sad. As Mom drove Iris back to the hospital, I had a brilliant idea. Mom, can I borrow your credit card?
Honey, I'm already owing a lot on my credit card.
No, I'm not buying anything. I just want to investigate something. I then asked her to drop me at the mall and went to the only jewelry store that sold Rolex watches. Excuse me, can you check my mom's credit card? I think she bought a Rolex watch here some time back. The store assistant checked the card, and the time of the purchase showed up. I requested to see the CCTV footage of that date and time, and it was exactly what I had expected. My aunt was the one using my mom's credit card. I made a copy of the video on my flash drive and left. I was on my way to Dad's office when I got a phone call that made me yell out with excitement. Iris's application for the donor heart was approved. My sister was going to get a new heart, and she would be completely okay. When I reached Dad's office, I showed him the video from the jewelry shop.
Oh my God! I don't know what to say. She's my only sister. Why would she do this to me?
You really broke our hearts when you believed your sister over us, Dad. Aunt broke our happy family and you let her? The next day, while Mom and I were in the hospital with Iris, Dad suddenly walked in with flowers.
I am so sorry. And I know my apology is not going to be enough right now, but I love you all very much, and I will do anything to have you back home.
Mom didn't forgive him immediately, but once she heard that he'd kicked out Aunt and Shirley for good, she was willing to give Dad a second chance. And slowly, our family became whole again. I learned a big lesson here. Always look for the truth, even if it hurts. A good leader is a truth seeker.
My mom was a popular Italian actress. So right since I was a toddler, I was used to the paparazzi going berserk the moment I stepped out in public. And honestly, I loved being in the spotlight. Hello, guys! Ready for some new poses? I always knew I wanted to be an actress like Mom. So I begged her to take me to auditions. I'd get in front of the camera and everyone would go nuts.
Mamma mia, Isabella, you're a born actor.
Well, that was kind of true. Mom said I was a very expressive baby. And when I was in the 2nd grade, I pretended for a whole year that I was some celebrity whose life was being secretly recorded. Thanks to my natural acting skills, I was already a successful actress. By the time I was 15, my life was almost perfect. But things started going downhill quickly after that. Mom lost some film contracts to younger actresses, and she started getting plastic surgeries to look younger. A few of them went horribly wrong. Mom, what happened to your nose? You kind of look like the Joker.
Shush! I know what I'm doing, Isabella.
But Mom ended up looking so weird. No one wanted to cast her in their films anymore. This broke her heart. And she slowly transformed into this wild party animal who dated a new guy every month. And the worst part? She was blowing tons of money, buying expensive gifts for them. Mom, I just saw your boyfriend kissing one of our maids. He's a total jerk.
Oh, really? Then I guess I'll give that limited edition Rolex watch to my next boyfriend.
Mom kept going around with the biggest buttheads on the planet and spending money like water. Her falling reputation in film circles affected me too. And in a matter of a few months, we were both sitting at home with no work. Then Mom tried one business idea after another, but nothing worked out. And soon enough, we exhausted all our savings. Even the banks kicked us out, and all of our relatives turned us away. I was so angry at Mom for getting us into this mess, and the paparazzi were having a field day selling news about our downfall. But one night, Mom walked into my room and sat on my bed.
Isabella, I'm so sorry about everything. Oh, how I just wish that American business was in my name. That could have saved us right now.
What business?
I invested in a perfume business with my friend in the US a few years back, and it became really successful. But it's entirely in her name.
Why?
I didn't want to pay the taxes.
Oh my God, that was typical Mom.
Last year, I had a fight with her. And now that witch won't give me my share of the investment back.
What if I go to the US and talk to her? Mom loved the idea, and I took the next flight to the US. When I reached Mom's friend's house, she looked pleased to see me.
Wow, you're as pretty as your mom. Or as pretty as she used to be once.
Thank you? I think you know why I'm here.
Your mom and I are childhood friends, and you're very welcome in my house. Stay as long as you like.
But I'm talking about Mom's investment.
What's the hurry, Isabella? We'll talk about this unpleasant business later.
The next day, I kept trying to remind her of Mom's money, but she simply wouldn't talk about it. I knew this was not going to be easy, but I was determined to get our money back from that witch. One day, as I was leaving her study, I bumped into a boy around my age. I figured he was Mom's friend's son, and for some reason, he was dressed like Michael Jackson.
Hi, I'm Will, but I guess you already know that.
How would I know your name?
I know yours!
That's because I'm famous. Ugh, why is everyone here so stupid?
Hey, I'm not stupid. In fact, I might just be the solution to all your problems. Mom told me why you're here. I can help you get your money back in a month. Mom will do anything I say. Trust me. But on one condition.
And what's that?
You have to fake date me in front of my ex. She dumped me last month for another guy, and I'd love to show her that I'm with someone like you. You're a great actress. It shouldn't be a problem.
I stared at him and thought about it. Fake dating this weirdo wasn't something I was looking forward to, but I really needed that money. We have a deal. You'll get me my money in a month, and I'll make sure your ex eats her heart out and runs back to you. The next morning, I was nervous about going to a new school in a foreign country. But when I got there, kids practically jumped on me.
You're that Italian actress, Isabella, right?
I saw your toilet cleaner commercial. You looked like a goddess cleaning toilets with your perfect hands.
Just then, a guy took off his t-shirt and asked me to sign it. I obliged my fan happily, and soon, all the guys were doing that. I was loving this place. But just then, a teacher came and told everyone to put their shirts back on. What a buzzkill! I looked for Will to show me around school, but he simply disappeared. Sometime later, I found him in the cafeteria in a corner with a guy who seemed to be bullying him. There was a pretty blonde girl with them, too. The bully took out a paper from his pocket and started shouting,
"Attention, everyone. Here's a song that our lover boy will once wrote. Mia, Mia, you're as sweet as honey. I'll buy you gifts with my money. Your hair is silky smooth. I even like your wisdom tooth."
The girl who I guessed was Will's ex looked really uncomfortable.
Stop it. You're embarrassing him.
But obviously that jerk just kept laughing and going on. I walked over and snatched the paper from him. Heck, what is wrong with you? You're such a rude donkey.
And Will, I didn't know you wrote so well. Babe, I'm so glad I met you in Italy last summer.
That caught Mia's attention.
Wait, last summer? As in before Will and I dated?
Don't worry, we didn't start talking again until an hour after you broke up. Mia turned red and walked away with her moron boyfriend.
Whoa! Did you see how jealous she looked? You're awesome!
Tell me something I don't know. By the way, that song was awful.
I promise I've gotten better since.
For the first time, I saw Will smile and noticed his cute dimples. The next day, Will turned up at school wearing a t-shirt with my photo printed on it, and it had Sugar Boo written in bold letters. And at lunch, he was standing on a chair in the cafeteria waving me over.
Isabella, the love of your life is here!
It was so freaking embarrassing. But just as I was pulling him down, Mia walked in. So I grabbed Will's collar and kissed him. Babe, I miss you so much. It's been 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 23 seconds since I last saw you.
Oh, my sugar boo. I'm sure it must have hurt when you fell from heaven. Is there an airport nearby? Or is my heart taking off?
God, he could win an Oscar for overacting. Later that day, I gave Will some tips on how to be a cool boyfriend. No more sleazy pickup lines or cringy songs.
But I read online that girls want their boyfriends to write songs for them.
Yeah, if they are good at it, which you are not, my friend. You just get me chocolates and flowers. Luckily, Will turned out to be a fast learner. We kept fake dating for a few weeks, and to be honest, it was fun. I even took him to the mall one day and gave him a complete makeover. The next day at school, I could see jaws drop when we walked hand in hand. Will was loving being popular, but the idiot was still hung up on Mia.
Our fake dating is working. I caught Mia looking at us 17 times today.
Come on, do you still want to date Mia? I don't think she's anything special. And with your new looks, any girl would go out with you.
Any girl? Will you go out with me? I mean, for real?
That question took me by surprise.
See, the problem is your life's always been so perfect that you have no idea what rejection feels like.
I wasn't rejecting you. And just so you know, my life is far from perfect. I'm here in a foreign country, miles away from home, just because my mom blew all our money, and I can't even land a movie role. But the point is, you deserve better than Mia.
Maybe you're right. Okay, now you stop frowning, or you'll get wrinkles on your pretty face.
He gently pinched my cheek, and for some reason, I felt butterflies in my tummy. Weird. A few days later, Mia surprised both me and Will when she came over and invited us to a party at her place. Will was excited to go, so I said yes. Mia had invited the whole class and we were having a blast dancing when suddenly a slow song started playing. Will pulled me close and we swayed to the slow beats. My heart was racing a bit and he smiled down at me with those adorable dimples. And suddenly he kissed me, and not like one of our fake kisses. I felt like the world around me had stopped. When he pulled back, I was breathless and I thought he looked shaken too.
Mia saw us kissing. I'm sure she must be burning with jealousy. Wait, she's coming our way. Be cool, Will.
Oh, so the kiss was for Mia. That shouldn't have hurt, but strangely it did.
Will, I wanted to talk to you for a moment.
He immediately let go of me and followed Mia. I just stood there like an idiot. When Will didn't return for half an hour, I went looking for him and found him in the kitchen washing dishes. Will, what's the matter with you? You left me alone for this?
Actually Mia's maid didn't turn up, so she asked me to help her. And guess what? She said she'd even think about getting back with me.
What? Suddenly, dozens of kids barged into the kitchen, along with Mia's boyfriend, who started recording Will on his phone.
Haha, this is your place, you loser. Can you come to my party next week? I'll pay you $50 to do the dishes.
Everyone started laughing, and just then Mia walked in too.
Stop it, you all! I asked Will to help me. He's just being a good friend.
But Will didn't say anything. He simply took off his apron and left. I decided to leave the party too, but suddenly Mia grabbed my arm.
Remember this. Will might pretend to like you, but I still have him wrapped around my finger. He'll do anything for me, and I can have him back anytime I want.
So you're just going to keep stringing him along? You're a witch, Mia! And guess what? When I was looking for Will earlier, I saw your boyfriend making out with another girl in the bathroom. And I wasn't even lying. Those two jerks deserved each other. When I reached home, I marched straight up to Will's room angrily. How do you feel making a complete fool of yourself?
Well, Mia did side with me.
Oh, stop it! Do you seriously think she wants to get back with you? She's manipulating you. Are you blind?
What's your problem? Don't you want me to get back with Mia so that you can just get your money and leave?
You're pathetic, Will. Know your own worth and have some self-respect, dude.
I don't remember asking you for a lecture on how to live my life.
Fine, do whatever you want. Date Mia, marry her, whatever. I don't care. I slammed the door hard and stormed off to my room. Idiot. The next day, I didn't even sit with Will at lunch, and I felt even madder when I saw Mia walk up to him.
Will, I broke up with my boyfriend. The jerk was cheating on me, and I was a fool not to realize how amazing you were. Can we get back together? I know you still care.
Well, I'm not too sure about that anymore. I'm done being your backup plan, Mia. Good luck with your life, but I'm not interested anymore.
Mia looked stunned, and Will just walked out. That was amazing. When I reached home that day, I found Will waiting for me in my room with an envelope in his hands.
You kept your part of the deal. Now it's my turn.
I took the envelope, and when I opened it, my eyes almost popped out. It was a check for $20 million. How did you manage to do this?
Let's just say I'm Mom's only weakness, so it wasn't that difficult.
Thank you. I guess now there is no reason for me to stay back any longer. Will looked at me and then spoke.
I guess there isn't. I'll drop you at the airport when you're ready.
Soon I flew back to Italy, and Mom and I started our own perfume business with that money. Thankfully, it took off, and I also started getting acting offers once things settled down. One day, while I was shooting, I noticed a familiar face in the crowd. A face I'd been dying to see again.
Will, what are you doing here?
Listen, Isabella, I know I suck at writing songs, but I have to say this.
Oh, please, not a song.
Just listen. No matter what I do, I'm always thinking of you. You're stuck in my head like glue, and I think I'm in love with you.
You're such a doofus, Will, and I love you too.
Hi, I'm Adele, and I live with my parents in France. Please like and subscribe. My dad named me Adele, which means beautiful like a star. He never loved anyone in the world as much as he loved me. And I guess this is why my own mom never liked me very much. Once in 2nd grade, my geography teacher, Ms. Diana, started screaming at a poor girl, and I just hated that she was such a bully. When she was done, she turned to us and said,
"Okay, class, so now I think I should
jump off a bridge." And the whole class laughed.
Adele, what is this behavior? I'll send you to the principal.
And I'll send you to Antarctica. My dad is a travel agent.
How dare you threaten me? You should never threaten people like that.
Sorry, Diana. I thought it was funny.
Should never call your teachers by their first name. This isn't funny.
And the complaint letter was sent to my parents. Mom was furious. But Dad couldn't stop laughing at the statements I'd made in class.
Adele, I know you were defending a girl, but we should always respect our teachers. Darling.
You shout at me if I spill coffee by mistake, but anything Adele does is fine by you. You'd forgive her if she ever killed someone.
Oh God, honey, do you always have to be so melodramatic? How can you compare yourself to a kid and she's really funny?
Mom just stormed off angrily. And since that day, I started noticing she'd always talk to me rudely. A few weeks later, it was Dad's birthday, and I went down that evening in a beautiful new dress. The minute Dad got home, I ran towards him. Dad, my new dress! Am I pretty? And then, Mom pushed me aside and showed Dad the watch she'd bought for him. But Dad ignored her completely and picked me up instead.
My princess, no one can look more beautiful than you. Look what I've brought for you.
Chocolate! Barbies! Wow, Mom! See the gifts Dad got for me! But Mom angrily turned away and left. Why was she always like this? I forgot all about her as soon as Dad and I started to play. And we played a lot! The next morning at breakfast, Mom came downstairs rocking a dress that was so slay. And she walked in front of Dad.
How do I look, darling? Come, let's dance in this romantic weather.
Dad spat out his coffee and burst out laughing.
That was a really good joke, but could you go do something more usual now? It's freezing and you'll get sick and cause trouble for everyone.
He just went back to reading his newspaper. And I saw Mom's face turn red. I felt a bit sorry for her, but why was she acting so silly? She was obviously furious at Dad, but she took it out on me by not giving me dessert that day. And this time, I was angry at her. Give me dessert now!
Nope, don't feel like it. Go ask your dad.
I went to the kitchen and climbed onto a stool to reach the cookie jar on the top of the fridge. But I accidentally knocked it down and broke it with a loud crash. Mom came rushing in and started shouting at me.
You're such a brat. Look at this mess you made. You're going to clean it up.
But I just ran out of there and headed straight to the phone. Hello, Dad? Mom is saying that she hates me and I look like an ugly panda. Dad called Mom back and yelled at her, and I did a happy dance. Years passed, and I grew up to be a beautiful girl. Every time Dad or anyone praised my beauty, Mom looked jealous. By now, it was clear she completely resented me. By the time I reached 11th grade, I discovered my love for acting, and I'd taken part in all of the school plays. But there was a mean girl in my class who was always competing with me for the lead roles. Ashley, I'd usually beat her to them, and she wasn't very fond of me. One day in the cafeteria, I saw Ashley bullying this shy kid named Olivier. She walked up to him with her boyfriend and took off his thick glasses, snapping them in half.
Oh, look at him crying like a kid. Mommy, save me from Ashley.
Olivier's eyesight was so weak that he couldn't see anything. As he tried to get away, Ashley stuck out her leg and he tripped. He would have landed on his face, but I caught him just in time. Then I picked up a chair and shouted at Ashley, "You touch him again, and I'll hit your head so hard, your tiny little brain will come out."
How dare you threaten me, witch?
And suddenly, she jumped on me, and we broke out into a huge fight. Some teachers came running and pulled us apart, and their moms were called to the school immediately.
These girls were fighting like wild dogs. It's unacceptable behavior.
My daughter could never do this. She's the greatest child in the world.
Oh, yes. I'm sure it was Adele's fault. She's the worst child in the world. You poor baby. How badly hurt is she? Adele should definitely be punished.
This is the last warning to you girls.
Don't be weak. Why are you letting Adele off with a warning? You should suspend her. You can even throw her out of school.
Mom, the principal actually suspended me for 3 days, and I was furious. When we got home, Dad was already there, and she started complaining to him.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this,
You're the prettiest, loveliest girl ever. Will you go out with me, Adele?
Yes, of course. Yes. Then he lifted me into his arms and twirled me around as everyone cheered for us. Ashley was so embarrassed and angry, she ran away from there crying. I started enjoying my relationship with Olivier. He'd pick me up from my place, and then we'd go to parks and malls. I could see Mom's jealous face whenever I'd come back with gifts. One day, she said,
"Is this what you go to school for? Focus on your studies."
"Don't I already get the highest grades?"
That boy, Olivier, isn't good for you.
How can you say that? You don't even know him.
His dad and I were in the same college, and he is a horrible, dishonest man.
Wow, you'll just make up anything, won't you? You know what I think, you're just jealous because you never got what I have. I started ignoring Mom completely after that. She couldn't stand to see me happy. And that was her problem, not mine. I graduated from high school, and Olivier and I decided to get engaged before we both headed off for college. We had a small engagement dinner with his parents and mine. But just as he was about to put the ring on my finger, Mom suddenly jumped up from her seat.
No, I can't stay quiet and just watch Adele. I have proof that this boy is no good. Look at this picture of him kissing this girl. Won't you believe me now? I warned you about him and his whole family.
Mom, just stop. That girl is Olivier's cousin, and I know her. You've proved nothing except that you're a crazy psycho who's been stalking my boyfriend. Everyone was staring at us, and the whole evening was ruined. When we got home, I turned to Dad. She ruined one of the happiest days of my life, Dad. Thank God. I'm leaving for university tomorrow.
Not just you, darling. I'm leaving too. I've stayed with this madwoman just for you. But now you're all grown up and ready to go, and so am I. I need some peace in my life.
And with that, we both left home the next day, hoping to never see Mom again. A few months later, Dad told me he was getting married again, and I was really happy for him. After Olivier and I graduated from university, we decided to get married. I didn't want Mom to ruin my big day, so I didn't invite her. But to my shock, Dad didn't come either. He just sent me a huge wedding present with a note.
Sorry I couldn't make it, honey, but I can't leave my wife and newborn son alone right now. Love you, and hope you have an amazing day.
That was a big blow to my heart. He'd never ignored me before, and I was so angry at him. I called him, but he didn't even pick up. Olivier's dad soon signed me on for a movie, and the very first one was a success. I shot to fame fast, and was soon traveling all over the world for shootings and premieres. I was away often, and over time, I felt Olivier was growing really distant from me. Like once I was in town on my birthday, and all he did was laze around on the couch as usual and watch football all day. Olivier, today's day is over. It was my birthday? And you didn't even wish me a happy birthday.
Oh, I forgot. Happy birthday, dear.
And then he just turned his face to the TV again. This kind of stuff happened all the time, and I felt invisible. And sometimes it made me think of how Dad must have made Mom feel, and how I'd never realized it before. To distract myself, I worked even harder. And within a year, I was nominated for a big award. But Olivier didn't even show up to the award ceremony. And when I got home, I found him having a huge party at our place.
Oh, I thought you were out of town. Babe, come meet my friends.
Out of town? I was at the award ceremony, and you weren't there.
That was today? And why did I need to be there, Adele? Did you need me to carry around that tiny award for you?
Do you even care about me? Or am I just a money-earning machine for you? You don't even have a job, and all you do is spend my hard-earned money.
Your hard-earned money? Anything you are today is because of my dad and my connections. And look at you now, acting all high and mighty with your award and your expensive dress, which, by the way, looks awful on you.
Everyone in the room looked at us. I was embarrassed like never before. Suddenly, the scene of Dad laughing at Mom and insulting her flashed before my eyes. And it was the worst feeling in the world. Really? You made me. Then why couldn't you make something of yourself, you useless potato? Saying that, I just pushed him aside and stormed off to my room. I could hardly sleep that night. I was so angry at Olivier and at Dad. The next morning, I woke up to a message on my phone. It was from my bank saying that all the money from my account had been withdrawn. What the heck? Olivier, you took all my money? Why did you even need such a big amount?
I had some debts to pay off. Partying can be expensive, man. You'd know if you ever had fun.
What? You're the biggest jerk ever. I wish I'd let Ashley have you. You deserved her.
Yeah, she was prettier, but whatever. Get lost now.
I grabbed him by the collar and punched him hard. Just then, the cops arrived at our door because I'd already called them and reported him for theft. He left shouting and screaming, and it was the best I'd felt in years. And then I left to see my mom. When I arrived at my old house, Mom was completely stunned to see me.
Oh my God, Adele, it's been so long. You're even more beautiful than I remember.
And suddenly, I just burst into tears and ran to hug her tight. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her everything. I'm so sorry, Mom, for never realizing how Dad made you feel, for not listening to you about Olivier. You warned me, but I grew up never trusting you to be happy for me.
It's not really your fault, Adele. All those years, I was angry at your dad, and I took it out on you by never showing you affection. It's taken me years to get over my resentment, and realize I should never have ruined my relationship with you, or for someone who never loved me at all.
I'm here now, Mom. Do you think we can start over?
I've been waiting to hear those words for so long, my darling.
Hi, I'm Pinky from Michigan. Before I continue with my story, please like and subscribe. My brain works a little differently than most people's. When I was in preschool, I thought it was a good kind of different. I was already teaching myself to read and do math. I also had a perfect memory. I could point and remind my parents where certain stores and markets were. I even helped them remember long Wi-Fi passwords. But once I got to first grade, I noticed something was off about me. Every time I talked to someone, they acted like I said something weird. One time, Mom invited a friend of hers over, and I started asking her questions. I was curious about, how'd you get that bald spot? Have you ever gotten pregnant? Do you ever pee in the middle of the night? Mom's friend was super offended by what I was saying and left dinner early. Mom was super embarrassed, and Dad tried to tell me that my questions were rude and too personal.
Next time you meet someone for the first time, ask questions like, where are you from? What's your job?
Dad gave me a bunch of example questions I could ask. But soon, I learned I didn't know how to act around people at all. And whenever I tried to make friends, I just ended up annoying them, whether I talked too much or stood too close to them. By the time I was in 10th grade, I got used to not having friends.
Pinky's like a robot.
What planet did that weirdo come from?
So instead, I studied super hard and became #1 in my class. I won tons of science fairs and awards for school projects. My whole life was books and homework. Then one day, something happened, totally out of the blue. Skylar, the most popular guy at school, asked me out.
It's so fun being in biology class with you. You're funny and interesting and hands down the smartest person I know.
I had no idea how to answer, but from that day on, Skylar treated me like a queen. He bought me jewelry and roses and always wanted to be my lab partner. 2 weeks later, we started dating, and everyone was super confused by it.
What's a guy like Skylar doing with a loser like Pinky?
She's gonna ruin him socially.
We were the talk of the school. Every day I asked Skylar why he chose me out of all the girls he could have dated. And he always told me the same thing.
You're different, Pinky. I like that about you. Why don't you believe me?
I tried to take Skylar for his word, so on his birthday, I planned a huge surprise for him. I Googled how to write a love poem. I spent hours thinking of the most romantic things I could tell Skylar. Finally, the day arrived. I brought speakers to school and stood up on a cafeteria table. Today is my amazing boyfriend's birthday. Skylar, babe, I've written you a poem as a token of my love. Your eyes are like starlight. Your skin's pale as moonlight. My sweet Skylar. I went on and bowed. When I finished, that's when everyone burst out laughing. I looked to Skylar, but he was heading out of the cafeteria. I ran to catch up with him. Babe, why did you leave? Don't you love the poem?
I don't get it. Why did you read it to the whole school? That was the most embarrassing moment of my life.
Why? 'Cause you're embarrassed of our love? Embarrassed of me?
That's not what I said. God, why are you so stupid, Pinky? Everyone was right about you.
Skylar walked off angrily, and tears filled my eyes. Why didn't I just put the poem in his locker or something? Or read it to him on a date? I was so sick of being a chronic moron. I came home early that day from school. My parents were working in the living room. Then suddenly, the house started shaking. We were having an earthquake. Within a few hours, half of our house was destroyed. And the next day, the earthquake was all over the news. Then, all of a sudden, my picture popped up on the TV screen with my first and last name. And next to it was written, "Reported missing after earthquake."
Young teenager last seen yesterday evening after the earthquake.
Mom, Dad? What are they talking about?
I don't know.
What kind of mistake is this? The reporters must be talking about another girl and used Pinky's picture.
My parents rushed to the computer in their bedroom to Google my apparent missing report. But when I checked social media on my phone, I saw I had thousands of notifications. Kids from school had posted everywhere online how worried they were about me and how amazing I was. Best of all, Skylar had posted about me, saying he prayed they'd find me. I'd gone from being totally alone to the most loved person overnight. Before I knew what I was doing, I walked to my parents' room. We can't tell anyone this story is fake. Look what everyone's saying about me. They love me. For once, I have to hide in this house and pretend to be missing.
Pinky, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It's not crazy. My life is hell. I deserve to have people appreciate me for once. Pretending to go missing is the only way I can have that. My parents argued with me for hours. Then suddenly, we heard a bunch of neighbors outside our door. I ran to hide in the closet while my parents answered the door. The neighbors showered them with sympathy.
You two are going through so much with Pinky missing and your home almost ruined. Let us help you out. We'll give donations to repair the damage to your home.
To my shock, I overheard the neighbors offer thousands of dollars in donations. It sounded like enough to pay for the damage. I guess that's why I overheard my parents agree, and why later they told me they were in on my plan. I hid in the basement all day while reporters and journalists came to our house. I was glued to my phone as more posts about me flooded my newsfeed. Half of them were from Skylar.
Man, I hope Pinky's okay. I hope we don't lose her.
He was mourning me. I found an old mask in my closet. I dressed all in black and took the bus to school. Skylar was probably crying about me. I had to see it for myself. I walked around the courtyard to see Skylar sitting on the bleachers with his friends. I hid under the steps.
Poor Pinky's still missing. Maybe she's writing me another love poem.
My sweet Skylar, your eyes are like starlight.
I told you guys I could get that weirdo to date me for 2 months. Now pay up. $200 each.
I watched in horror as all of Skylar's friends gave him $200. My head was spinning, and I had to keep from crying. I ran from the bleachers and wandered the street for hours. Of course, Skylar had never liked me. Instead, he dated me as a joke for money. I decided then I wasn't going to let Skylar get away with it. The next morning, I started to walk out the door with my mask on. I was going to find Skylar and let him have it.
Pinky, why are you carrying your school backpack? You're not leaving the house, are you?
I'm wearing a mask. No one will know it's me.
That's ridiculous. You could get this whole family in trouble. This going missing scheme was your idea.
I'm still allowed to leave the house. I'm not going to stay cooped up in my room forever. I'm going to school today whether you like it or not.
Pinky, wait. If you're going in disguise, let's at least make it believable. I'll help give you a little makeover.
But in the end, we didn't just do a makeover. I decided to completely transform myself. I got a whole new wardrobe, fake eyebrows, eyelashes, and a black wig. But I covered all of it up with a mask and hoodie. When I got to school, a couple of kids approached me, wondering who I was.
Are you new here?
Why are you wearing a mask?
Because I like wearing masks. I'm like a mugger. Come at me, bro! The kids walked away quickly, and I was glad. All I could think about was Skylar. I followed him around the whole day, hiding under stairs and even sneaking into the boys' bathroom. But Skylar just seemed like his normal, popular self. Just a hot guy who'd rejected a dork like me. Maybe I was the problem, not Skylar. Then suddenly, I saw Skylar in the alleyway, smoking with a bunch of guys. They were all wearing the same bandanas and counting money from a giant backpack.
I paid you $50 to date that email girl. You should have paid me $1,000 to date that freak.
It hit me. Skylar was in a gang. I wasn't the only girl he'd bet on for money. Their backpack was full of loose bills and even some gold jewelry they were stealing too. I ran away before anyone could see me. When I got to the cafeteria, all the girls stared at me and started whispering.
That girl's probably wearing a mask and hoodie because she's hideous.
I'd wear a mask too if I had an ugly face.
I felt my skin boil. I'd been the school freak my whole life. I wasn't gonna let it happen again. With that, I unzipped my hoodie to reveal my black dress and black wig. I took off my mask and tossed it to the ground. I could feel all the kids in the cafeteria turn their heads in my direction. And finally, at the corner lunch table, I saw Skylar. He waved me over.
Hey there. You new here? Because I think I would have remembered seeing someone as pretty as you.
Yeah, I'm new. Call me Z. That's my name. I decided to hang out with Skylar the whole day. I wanted to know everything he'd been up to. All of a sudden, Skylar turned red, and he was dead silent. Had I said something? Had I blown my cover?
Z, I gotta tell you something. I'm a mess. I've reached rock bottom. especially after I lost my girlfriend. She's missing. I don't think they'll ever find her. Only a girl like you will help me get better. Can you be my girlfriend?
Sure, I'll be your girlfriend. Skylar and I spent the entire week together. He could have won the Academy Award for leading a double life. He took me on romantic beach walks and to crazy, expensive restaurants. Skylar was sweeter than he ever was when we dated. Then, one day I got really sick and couldn't leave my bed for days. I barely checked my phone and didn't talk to Skylar at all. When I was well enough, I checked online and saw no one had posted about me going missing the past few days. And when I went back to school, I didn't hear my name. Once, I was waiting in line at lunch next to a couple of girls. I decided to bring the new story up. So people still remember that missing girl. Pinky, right?
What missing girl?
That missing girl, Pinky from the news. She's probably missing for good. What reminded you of her anyway?
For once in my life, I couldn't speak. Everyone had forgotten about me just like that. People loved me and celebrated me for a bit. And then it was over. I couldn't think straight. I searched the school to go find Skylar, and when I did, he was kissing another girl. That's when I totally lost it. I sprang onto Skylar and tackled him to the ground. You're a cheat. You're a fraud. You're a liar. Skylar tried to fight me off, and crowds of kids gathered around us.
Get off me, you psycho!
You're not going anywhere until you tell the truth. Until you tell everyone here that you're in a gang and you break girls' hearts for money. I pinned Skylar to the ground, and he started to cry.
Okay, fine. I'm in a gang where people pay us to date girls as a joke or for revenge. We've also stolen money and expensive jewelry.
Everyone gasped and started whispering. Some girls Skylar had dated began to cry. You want to know something else, genius? If you'd actually cared about me, you would have been able to recognize that I'm not Z. I'm Pinky, your old girlfriend that you dated for a bet. With that, I took off my wig.
Pinky, what? What is happening right now?
I was never missing, okay? I hid in my bedroom and lied about it for attention. I wanted to feel loved and appreciated for once in my life. But it doesn't matter, because everyone forgot about Pinky, the missing girl. Kids had gathered all around the courtyard and had heard everything. Some of them were laughing, others were whispering. But wherever I went, I could feel stares. My secret was out and posted everywhere online. I was getting attention again, except bad attention this time. Everyone thought I was a heartless witch, and they were right. How could I do something so selfish? All of a sudden, I saw my parents walking towards me. Someone had called them. Kids started pointing at me. You know what? I get it. I messed up. I'm sorry, okay? I wish I didn't care so much about what everyone thought of me, but I want to be better. And the truth is, I like who I am. Even with all my weirdness and my problems, I need to remind myself of that. But both my parents hugged me.
You did the right thing by admitting your mistake, sweetie. And we're sorry we agreed to let you do this. We should have been the responsible ones.
We promise we'll always be there for you. And we want you to know we're proud of you. We love you, Pinky.
Thanks, guys. I needed to hear that. I love you too.